You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. AL East matchup here at Tropicana Field between two teams that are tied in the AL East. It's the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays, each with 31 and 36 records entering play. But welcome, my name's Nicholas Callis. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. And this is game one of a three-game series between these two. And here's the starter for the Rays. A former Cy Young Award winner. 4-2 this year and 11 starts with a .377 earned run average. And starting off for the Red Sox will be Andrew Benintendi. .239 average with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. Hasn't put up strong numbers like he had in the past. He had a very good start to his career, but this season not doing too well. There are several Red Sox players that aren't doing too well this year. The Red Sox have an entire new face. They traded away some of their better players, and their ace on the mound, Chris Sale, had Tommy John surgery. He will not pitch in 2020. So the Red Sox have struggled. They were in last place through most of April and May. But now they're tied for third with the Rays. Each team 31 and 36 record. Each team 8.5 games back of the Yankees, who were in first place. 3-1 count on Benintendi with Rafael Devers on deck. A bright spot on this team. They're still rather young third baseman. That's ball 4, a leadoff walk issued by Blake Snell. That's how this game begins. So nobody out, runner on first, and Rafael Devers will come to the plate. But it's been a tale of two games for the Red Sox this year, and their offensive game has been better than their pitching game. So we'll take a look at their offense while they're batting. We'll start out with that. But the Red Sox, they're fourth in the league in they're fourth in Major League Baseball in batting average. They have a batting average of .278 as a team. They're tied for second with the Yankees with 658 team hits. Again, that's in all of Major League Baseball. They have the 7th most runs batted in Major League Baseball with 319. So their offense helps them out and produces runs. But take a look at these pitching statistics. ERA, they're last in ERA in Major League Baseball, 30th with a 5.11 ERA as a team. They're tied for 28th in blown saves. Or they have the second most blown saves in baseball with 16 as a team. Runner goes from first as that's popped into the air. Yandy Diaz under it. That gives Benintendi time to retreat to first. And that's out number 1. With that, we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Red Sox. Kevin Pillar playing right field in this one. Alex Verdugo got called up to the majors, but he starts when there's righties on the mound. Pillar, being a right-handed hitter, starts when there's a lefty on the mound. Otherwise, pretty standard Red Sox lineup. Here's Xander Bogaerts. But going over more of the pitcher statistics, the Red Sox have let up the 4th most hits in Major League Baseball with 629. They're last with 350 hits given up, the most in Major League Baseball, or most runs allowed in Major League Baseball. They've given up 341 earned runs. That's the most in Major League Baseball. 119 home runs, the most in Major League Baseball by their pitching staff. So it's been struggles for their pitching staff, but their offense has been pretty good. Swing and a miss, that's out number 2. So a strong offense met with a poor pitching staff has resulted in them balancing out. They had struggled to start the year, and they were in last place for a while, but they've picked it up. Some of their pitchers have gotten better, and their offense has been doing what it's done for years. In the gap, down the right field line. Benintendi on his way to third. Renfroe will get it in. Martinez tries to go to second. The relay is in time. He's out at second. Relay from Renfroe to Lowe into Adames, who tagged out Martinez, ends the top of the first inning. No runs on a hit, which was immediately erased. After a half inning, no score here at Tropicana Field. Here's Martin Perez on the mound for the Red Sox. Just signed a free agent deal with them, but he's not helping the pitching staff numbers. He's 2-9 in 13 starts with an 8.54 ERA. He struggled since coming here. He's a former Texas Ranger and Minnesota Twin. This is his first season with the Red Sox. He was somebody the Red Sox had signed to bolster their pitching staff, and he hasn't done too well. But again, David Price got traded away to the Dodgers, and Chris Sale had Tommy John surgery, so he'll be out for all of 2020. That hits a right field. Poor start for Perez in this one. That ball's gone. It's 1-0 Rays. That's the 8th home run for Lowe this year. And that's not even the dangerous part of the Rays lineup. Though Lowe has some power potential, his average is respectable. But it takes advantage of a high fastball, and look at the trajectory on that. Man. So 1 run in, nobody out, bottom of the first. Early runs for the Rays. Here's Austin Meadows. Meadows 302 batting average, 19 home runs, 54 RBIs. He's on some leaderboards in the American League and notches another hit with that one up the middle. Bradley Jr. gets it in quickly. 2 straight hits for the Rays. One was a home run and one was a single. And that'll bring up Yandy Diaz, but look at that pitch again. It's just right over the middle of the plate. Perez, I mean, he's been doing this all year. First pitch coming to Yandy Diaz. Runner goes. Strike called. Throw down by Vasquez is late. And Meadows slides in there safely, so he has a stolen base. He's now in scoring position. Perez ahead in the count. No balls, 1 strike. Oh, and he hit him. Not a great start for Perez. It just keeps getting worse for him. 3 straight runners on base. The first one that didn't get on via the hit, but got hit by a pitch. Here's Ji-Man Choi. Choi, a 276 hitter this season. Become a fan favorite here at Tropicana Field among Rays fans. Takes ball 1 inside. And speaking of Tropicana Field, this is the only venue in Major League Baseball that is completely indoor. There's no retractable roof like other fields, and it's certainly not open. The Herbert H. Humphrey Metrodome that used to house the Minnesota Twins used to be an indoor facility. But now that the Twins playing at Target Field, which is an outdoor facility, so Tropicana Field, the last one in baseball that is completely indoor. Perez falls behind Choi 3-0. Hasn't been a good start for him. And I'll repeat the numbers again. He's 2-9 with an 8.54 ERA entering play.
Thank you, mate.
That's the 4th straight runner to reach base. Lowe started this inning with a home run. Meadows singled. Diaz got hit by a pitch. Now Choi's on first after walking. How to bring up Hunter Renfroe. 227 hitter with 14 home runs and 36 RBIs. In his first season with the Tampa Bay Rays, started with the San Diego Padres, was traded here in the offseason. Provides a power bat in the middle of the order and a plus arm out and right. He was a first-round draft pick of the Padres in 2013. The Padres in that deal got Tommy Pham, who's been doing relatively well down there, being a contact hitter for them and a Good defensive outfielder. But Renfroe doing his job here in Tampa Bay. Average not great, but he's producing runs and hitting a good amount of long balls. Line into left, that's a base hit. Second run will come around to score. That's Austin Meadows. And everybody just moves station to station. So 2 runs in for the Rays, bases loaded, still nobody out. And here comes Jose Martinez. Martin Perez in a jam. He's let up 2 earned runs. Hasn't gotten an out yet. Martinez, 231 hitter, 16 home runs and 40 RBIs entering play. New to the Tampa Bay Rays team. Former St. Louis Cardinal. Was traded here in the offseason. Wasn't succeeding much in St. Louis. He can play outfield, but the outfield there is crowded. Third base is Matt Carpenter's responsibility. Paul Goldschmidt, the first baseman, so he wasn't succeeding there. But playing in Tampa Bay gives him a chance to start every day because the designated hitter's in the American League. Got him. Martinez strikes out. That's the first out for Perez. And a crucial strikeout. This game not out of hand yet, but the Rays still threatening. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here's Willy Adames. Line to left. Benintendi makes the catch. Tagging and scoring from third base is Yandy Diaz. And it's a 3-0 Rays lead. So the Rays have gotten on base in almost every way and have scored a run almost every way. A home run, an RBI base hit, a sacrifice fly. Batters have gotten walked, hit by pitches, and gotten hits. And we've seen a home run this inning. Several variations of offense for the Rays. Still 2 runners on, but 2 outs. Here's Kevin Kiermaier, the 8th hitter of this half inning. Kiermaier, a Gold Glove center fielder. One of the best defensive outfielders in all of baseball. Put up some good contact numbers this year, too. You see there, 286 average entering play. Perez, not even to 20 pitches yet. He's given up 3 earned runs. Gets ahead in this count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Perez looking to escape with minimal damage. On the ground, right side, it's bobbled by Moreland. Flips to Perez, covering. They get the out. Kiermaier's out at first, and the first inning comes to an end. However, the Rays get 3 runs on 3 hits. They leave 2 runners on base. At the end of a full inning, it's the Rays 3 and the Red Sox 0. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and I'm Nicholas Callis. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up in the Red Sox order to begin this inning. Mitch Moreland, Michael Chavis, and Jackie Bradley Jr. I wouldn't count the Red Sox out of this game, though it's 3-0 early. But like mentioned before, the Red Sox are at the top of most offensive categories in baseball. The problem is, why they're struggling this year is because their pitching staff is among the worst in categories in baseball. Maybe if you look at it the other way, their pitching staff is good at giving up runs and giving up home runs and having a high ERA. But not something to celebrate and not the characteristics of a quality baseball team. 2-0 pitch. Inside counts 3-0. So in simple terms, their offense has been successful. Their pitching staff has struggled. And this game, another example of that. It's 3-0 after 1 full inning. Blake Snell again leads off an inning with a walk.
Batting fifth, the second baseman, Michael Chavis.
So runner on first, nobody out. Michael Chavis coming to the plate. Chavis made his debut last season. 279 hitter with 7 home runs and 27 RBIs. He's an infielder all around. but he started most of this year at second base. Swing and a miss, the count's 0-1. Chavis has done wonders for the Red Sox since he's been on the Major League roster. Gives them some flexibility because he's a versatile infielder. He's also a great hitter, good middle of the order bat. And seems to have a bright future. Counts 1-1.
Nope.
Down low, counts 2-1.
The count is 2-1.
Blake Snell on the mound for the Rays, one of the top pitchers in baseball, former Cy Young Award winner. Has had a great start to his career. Not lights out numbers this season, but still the ace of this team. 2-1 pitch. It's outside, counts 3-1.
3-1.
The Rays have bolstered their pitching staff. Brendan McKay is now on the Major League roster, and he's in the rotation.
3 balls.
They still have Charlie Morton. Yanni Chirinos has been a pretty solid pitcher. They're a team with the right pieces. They just haven't broken out yet this year. Team that had great success last season. Struggling more than expected this year. Count still full. The Red Sox were expected to struggle this season with many of their main pieces leaving the team, but they're still struggling, I think, more than anticipated by anybody as well. Of course, the Yankees are in first place. That was predicted. What wasn't predicted was that the Blue Jays would be in second place heading into June. 3-2. Fouled off, count still full, 3-2. Blue Jays are also contending for a second wild card spot. All kinds of surprises from the AL East this year in some aspects. Other than the Yankees being in first place, everything else is a bit of a shock. Michael Chavis strikes out, just swung and missed at a fastball. One out, here's Jackie Bradley Jr. That's up high, counts 1-0.
1 ball. No strike.
One ball, no strike pitch. Former All-Star with the Red Sox.
1 ball. 1 strike.
One of the better defensive center fielders in baseball. He's been with the Red Sox since 2014. That's fouled off. Count 1-2. Also, Jackie Bradley Jr. is not related to Milton Bradley. High fly ball out to right field. Hunter Renfroe running back. Catch made. That's out number 2. Yeah, but Jackie Bradley Jr. not related to Milton Bradley in any way, and I'm sure he's glad about that. If you've ever watched baseball and you know who Milton Bradley is, I'm sure you have a strong opinion on him. And if you don't know who he is, I'm not going to tell you. You can just look up YouTube videos. Just type in Milton Bradley. You'll see some good stuff. Here's Christian Vasquez, 2 outs. Pop fly out to right. Hunter Renfroe with another chance. And the catch made. So the Red Sox turned away in the top of the second after a leadoff walk. No runs, no hits, 1 walk in the inning, 1 runner left on after an inning and a half. It's the Rays 3 and the Red Sox 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. As we come into the bottom of the second inning, the Rays will send up their 9-1-2 hitters to the plate. Garrett Stubbs, Brandon Lowe, and Austin Meadows. The Rays sent 8 hitters up to the plate in the first inning and scored 3 of them. So they're moving through their order quickly. Martin Perez, like so many times this season, has struggled. And struggled early. All 3 of the runs he gave up were earned. His ERA is already over 8 entering play. That's fouled off. Counts just 1-2. Line drive right side and foul. The count's still 1-2. Garrett Stubbs, a former Houston Astro, was acquired a little over a week ago in a trade with the Astros. A couple of prospects were swapped, but Stubbs came from Houston to Tampa Bay, and the Rays sent Mike Zunino, who was their former starting catcher, over to Houston. So Zunino, the starting catcher now with the Astros, and Stubbs, who was in the minor leagues with Houston for most of this season and seasons past, is now a starter with Tampa Bay. 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. In the dirt, counts 2-2. To answer the question about Dustin Pedroia, he is still on the roster. He's just not a starter anymore. He did start the year on the injured list, but came back, and Michael Chavis has been doing well enough to keep Pedroia sidelined. And even though the Red Sox have been struggling, there are still some pieces that you don't want to fiddle with too much. I mean, Chavis is succeeding. Mitch Moreland's been doing well as a first baseman. Rafael Devers is on his way to being an all-star at third base, so not too many places for Pedroia to go. Garrett Stubbs issued a leadoff walk in the bottom of the second inning. So a runner on as the top of the order comes back up. And it's Brandon Lowe coming to the plate. He's 1 for 1 after a couple pitches. He hit a home run. Got the Rays on the board early. Of course, was followed by 2 more runs later on. But the only home run in this game hit so far was by Lowe. Lowe, a young hitter, came up in the last few seasons. But several young players have revitalized this Rays team. From a pitcher's standpoint, Blake Snell being one of them, Brendan McKay coming up and doing well this season. And on offense, Brandon Lowe, Nate Lowe, Yandy Diaz, Austin Meadows, Hunter Renfroe. The Rays do have a bright future, a team that made playoffs last season. Couldn't win the division because the Yankees are the Yankees, but this team has a solid foundation now. A few veterans sprinkled in with loads of young talent. Strike 3 called. Well-placed pitch by Perez. Just his second strikeout here in 2 innings. And there's 1 out. That'll bring Austin Meadows up to the plate. Meadows is 1 for 1. He singled and later scored back in the first, which was just last inning. Meadows, a former Pittsburgh Pirate prospect, made his debut with the Pirates in 2018. Was sent down to AAA, then traded to Tampa Bay, where he spent most of 2018, or the rest of 2018 in AAA. Became a regular starter in the outfield in 2019. Made the All-Star team, and he shifted over to left since the acquisition of Renfroe, but still in the outfield and still producing well, living up to his potential. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Pickoff attempt. Stubbs was getting a large lead over there at first base, but Perez's throw a bit off. So Stubbs able to slide back in. 1-2 count. Chop foul, the count's still 1-2. One-two pitch. Inside, counts even 2-2. Austin Meadows on a few American League leaderboards, 7th in the American League in home runs with 19, 6th in RBIs with 54 as he hits that one to a diving Mitch Moreland to Bogarts for 1. Back to Perez covering. That's a double play, and a shiny one at that. The second inning ends on this double play, well turned, and Going into the third, it's 3-0. The Rays lead the Red Sox. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 9-1-2 hitters due up in the Red Sox order. Kevin Pillar, Andrew Benintendi, and Rafael Devers. No ball, 2-strike count quickly. Blake Snell on the mound. Just over 30 pitches entering this third inning. 0-2. Down low, counts 1-2.
1-2.
Kevin Pillar, former Toronto Blue Jay and San Francisco Giant. This is his first year with the Red Sox. He was signed to provide outfield depth and be the starting right fielder until Alex Verdugo got called up. But even since Verdugo got called up, he's still been a starter when a left-handed pitcher's on the mound. But Verdugo the starter when a righty's on the mound, because Verdugo's a left-handed hitter. Counts 3-2. Verdugo projected to be the permanent solution to the vacancy in right field for the Red Sox that Mookie Betts left behind. Betts got traded to the Dodgers this offseason with David Price. A few prospects were swapped around. It was a 3-team deal between the Dodgers, Red Sox, and Twins. The Twins got some good pieces, Kenta Maeda being one of them. He got traded from the Dodgers to the Twins in that 3-way deal, but he's been really the ace of their team, been the most successful pitcher for them this year. Twins with a set rotation with Jake Odorizzi in there as well. Rich Hill, Homer Bailey. Hit in the air out to center field by Pillar. There's Kevin Kiermaier. He makes the catch. That's one out to start the third inning.
Now batting, the left fielder, Andrew.
The Red Sox right now halted. The team that right now is struggling out of the 3 teams that were involved in that deal. They don't have Chris Sale. They don't have their former MVP. They don't have David Price either, who's a former Tampa Bay Ray, but they pitched for the Red Sox for a few seasons. They don't have Sale because of injury. Their lights-out closer, Craig Kimbrell, didn't sign back with them last year, so pieces not coming together anymore for the Red Sox. The Dodgers, however, are still as dominant as usual, still leading the NL West, and they have over 40 wins. They have one of the best records in all of Major League Baseball. Strike 3 called. Benintendi seems to be agreeing with that. Third strikeout for Snell, and with 2 outs, here's Rafael Devers. Devers 0 for 1. He popped out in the first inning. Popped out to Diaz at third. That's with the bases empty and 2 outs, and he takes ball 1 upstairs. Devers, an international signing by the Red Sox. Still a young third baseman.
That's ball 2.
The start of his career, he struggled a bit, was just inconsistent, but as the years continued to move on and he continued to develop, he's turned into one of the best third basemen in baseball, and definitely one of the best offensive players in baseball. Three ball, no strike pitch. That's strike 1.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, and I'm seeing in the live chat, I know we've talked about the Dodgers before. The Dodgers have won 7 straight NL West titles, but have no World Series title to show for it. And yeah, the last time they won was 1988. Team that had Oral Hershiser as one of their top pitchers. Kirk Gibson hit that walk-off home run in Game 1 while he was hurt. Off of the Oakland Athletics, who still had Dennis Eckersley as their closer. And had the Bash brothers on there, Jose Canseco, among others. That out to center field. Kiermaier makes the catch, and that ends the top of the third. The Red Sox fail to score in inning 3, going to the bottom of the third. It's the Rays' turn to bat. You're watching Virtual MLB. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and I'm Nicholas Callis.
Yandy.
As we move to the bottom of the third, the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the order are coming up for the Rays. Yandy Diaz, G-Man Choi, and Hunter Renfroe. Martin Perez pitched a scoreless second inning. He gave up the 3 runs the Rays have back in the first inning. It's inside, counts 1-1. The Rays got a home run by Brandon Lowe, but an RBI single from Hunter Renfroe, and got a sacrifice fly from Willie Adames. That's strike 2. But 3-0 here in inning 3. Red Sox haven't scored yet, evident by our scoreboard display. The Rays have a sizable lead, a healthy lead at this point in the game. It's a 3-2 count now. G-Man Choi on deck. Yandy Diaz, the former Cleveland Indian, now the starting third baseman of the Rays. Broken bat. Chavis still able to make a play, and he does it successfully. Throws to Moreland. Out at first is Diaz, and that's out number 1.
Now batting, the first baseman.
So 1 out, bottom of the third, and that'll bring up G-Man Choi. Choi, the starting first baseman. No official at bat in this one. He walked in his first plate appearance. Choi, a former New York Yankee, Los Angeles Angel, and Milwaukee Brewer. Didn't have too much success with either of those organizations, but has succeeded here and become a fan favorite. Flies out there to Benintendi on 1 pitch.
Now batting,
So with 2 outs, bottom of the third, that'll bring up Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe had an RBI single in his first at bat. So he's 1 for 1, batting for the second time against Perez, who's settled down since that first inning. No ball, 1 strike count on Hunter Renfroe. Swinging a miss, the count's 0-2. Perez in that first inning gave up 5 straight base runners. They reached in various ways. Jose Martinez was the first out of the first inning, but the Rays were set up well. They got 3 runs out of the entire inning. The Rays scored all 3 of their runs in the first. Perez pitched a scoreless second and is on his way to pitching a scoreless third. High fly ball out to left, and that'll go foul. One ball, 2 strike pitch from Martin Perez. Down low, counts even 2-2. In the air and foul, the count still even 2-2. Another 2-2 pitch coming from Perez. Outside, counts full 3-2. Jose Martinez would bat next if Renfroe can reach base. Payoff pitch. Popped up. Foul territory. Vasquez makes the play, and the third inning comes to an end. Martin Perez has pitched 2 scoreless innings, but the Rays still have a lead. It's 3-0 going to the 4th. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up in the Red Sox order to begin this half inning. Xander Bogaerts, JD Martinez, and Mitch Moreland. Fouled off, the count's 0-1. So I see we're switching to the topic of what real baseball is going to happen, when it's going to happen, and what I think. That's lined into center field. We'll get to my thoughts in a moment, but Kiermaier will have to play that off the wall. Bogaerts rounding first, headed to second. A leadoff double for the Red Sox puts a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
now batting,
But I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in real life. What I've read about and what I've seen happening is that there are just disagreements between the union and the league and the players. So I think that if everybody can come to an agreement where players feel safe and players feel like they're being fairly treated, then we'll see baseball. But if that doesn't happen, then we won't. It's just a matter of the three entities right now, the players themselves, the players' union representing the players, of course, and the league all figuring out a universal way that everybody can be happy and that we can see baseball happen. Martinez lines out to Meadows. That's out number one. I also appreciate the compliment, but trust me, I'd rather real baseball be being played right now. This is just a job I'm doing because I miss baseball, but if I had to pick, I'd rather be covering real baseball at all levels right now rather than simulations. One out, Bogart still on second. Here's Mitch Moreland. Well, back in 2018, when the Red Sox won the World Series, they had platoon first baseman. And their first baseman that usually batted against left-handed pitching was Steve Pearce, who went on to win the World Series MVP that year. And throughout all of his years playing baseball, was most noted for playing for the Red Sox. It's because he had so much success, and he ended up starting most games at first base because he was just on fire offensively. Now Moreland being the first baseman, though he still got decent playing time since his years with the Red Sox. His first year was 2017. He played the bulk of his career with the Texas Rangers, was a part of their 2010 and 2011 World Series teams, but also was a part of the teams that won the divisions in 2015 and 16. And after losing the Blue Jays in the ALDS in 2016, he entered free agency and signed with the Red Sox. So this is his fourth season with Boston. Full count pitch coming from Blake Snell. And this will be his 60th pitch. Got him to swing and miss. Blake Snell with 4 strikeouts now through 4 innings. And with 2 outs in the top of the 4th, here's Michael Chavis. Chavis struck out in the second inning, batting for the second time against Snell. That's strike one, and Snell keeping the ball down in the zone. Prevented Red Sox hitters from getting too much elevation. On the ground, another low pitch. There's Adames. Throws to Choi, and the top of the 4th inning is over. The Red Sox get a runner into scoring position to lead off the inning, but failed to bring him around. No runs on a hit and 1 runner left on after 3.5 innings. It's the Rays 3 and the Red Sox 0. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Heidi Watney, the sideline reporter of... No, I'm just kidding. My name is Nicholas Callis. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I feel like I already said that, but I'll say it again because you can never have too much promotion. But the Rays are leading the Red Sox 3-0 coming into the bottom of the 4th. And the Rays will have 6, 7, 8 hitters coming to the plate to begin this half inning. Jose Martinez to lead off, then Willie Adames and Kevin Kiermaier are scheduled to follow.
The designated hitter, Jose.
Martin Perez pitching here in the 4th. Gave up 3 runs in the first and then pitched 2 scoreless innings, the second and the third. That hit out to left, and well, that would have been a run if that stayed fair. That's well foul, but had the distance to be a home run. Martinez down on the count. Inside counts 1 and 2. We already talked about Perez's struggles this year, an ERA over 8. With a 2-9 record, he's already in position to lose this start too, if his offense can't pick him up. Popped up right side, there's Moreland. Makes the play, that's out number 1. So with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning, that'll bring up Willie Adames, the shortstop. Adames hit a sacrifice fly in the first inning. First pitch from Perez misses high, counts 1-0. Adames was a former prospect with the Boston Red Sox. He had been with the organization for a short period of time. Never played for their major league team, but had bounced around a few teams. and then landed with the Rays permanently, where he developed, and see, now he's made his debut and he's been an established shortstop in the league. His hitter's count here, 3 balls and a strike. In the air, toward left, Benintendi running back toward the wall. He runs out of room. That ball is gone. Solo home run for Willy Adames. His 9th home run of the year. The Red Sox lead at 4-0. Look at that high arcing ball. Out to shallow left, just over the wall, 362 feet, but counts as a home run. I'd also like to make a correction because I remember some familiar names in the trade that got Willy Adames to the Rays, but it wasn't from the Red Sox. He started his career with the Detroit Tigers. And listen to this big trade. This was a huge deadline trade in 2014. The Detroit Tigers traded Drew Smyly and Willy Adames to the Tampa Bay Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays traded David Price to the Detroit Tigers, and the Seattle Mariners traded Nick Franklin to the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Detroit Tigers traded Austin Jackson to the Seattle Mariners. And that was one of the biggest deals of 2014, so Adames was acquired as a prospect with a veteran pitcher in Drew Smyly for David Price, who was involved in that deal. But Kevin Kiermaier's at the plate now. Kiermaier, a lifetime Ray, been here, made his Major League debut in 2013. Been with Tampa Bay ever since. Two-two pitch. Strike 3 called. High outside pitch called for a strike. Perez now with 3 strikeouts. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Here's Garrett Stubbs. And yes, more draft action happening tomorrow and throughout this week. Funny story is that MLB The Show already did a draft. So every player that would have been acquired as a draft pick in this game simulation has already been picked. But I would have covered it if there were real players being drafted. Unfortunately, they're all not real players, so there was no point in covering that draft. So no draft picks for anybody here in MLB The Show 20 on MLB Virtual Network, but we're just covering the live stuff, present day teams and what they're doing. Unfortunately, no draft. 2-2. Soft ground ball. There's Bogarts. Throws to Moreland. Garrett Stubbs is out. And that ends the 4th inning. But Willy Adames tacks on another run to the Rays' lead. It's 4-0 after this solo home run. This is Major League Baseball's Virtual Network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. This game might be sponsored by Heidi Watney because she shows up in the middle of almost every game. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up. In the Red Sox order, Jackie Bradley Jr., Christian Vasquez, and Kevin Pillar. Jackie Bradley Jr. started with the Red Sox in 2014. Was an All-Star a few years ago. And on one pitch, he grounds out to G-Man Choi. That's out number 1. One quick out to start the 5th inning for Blake Snell, who's been nearly perfect in this game. A couple walks. He's also given up a double, but that's been the bulk of the traffic the Red Sox have created. Snell's been keeping pitches low in the zone. He's been spotting well. And as a result, no Red Sox runs to this point. Out toward left center field. Meadows stops, lets Kiermaier handle it. 2 outs. So 2 quick outs in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 5.
And that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Kevin Pillar. Pillar lined out in the 3rd inning, getting his 2nd at bat here. The only player from the Red Sox this game to not bat in the first 2 innings. Takes ball 1 outside.
1-0.
Pillar's been a great outfielder in his career, especially defensively. Was a great asset for the Blue Jays, was their center fielder during their quote-unquote golden years of 2010, of the 2010s, when they won the division in 2015 and when they made playoffs and went to the championship series in 2016. He was their center fielder. He was traded at the start of 2019, to the Giants. Hit free agency this offseason, so he signed with the Red Sox, who needed to fill an outfield spot while Alex Verdugo developed in the minor leagues. And he fit that requirement. He's been a right fielder for them, now platooning since Verdugo got called up. But still manning right field and still pretty good playing defense. On the ground left side and foul. The count's still 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. The top of the 5th inning is over. Blake Snell ends it with a strikeout. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rays lead the Red Sox 4-0. Top of the order due up when we come back. Hey, look, we're back. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and I'm Nicholas Callis. Top of the order due up for the Rays. Brandon Lowe, Austin Meadows, and Yandy Diaz. Pitch misses high, counts 1-0. Martin Perez gave up 3 runs in the 1st inning and gave up a run in the 4th. He's let up a couple home runs, one of which was to Brandon Lowe. Also gave up an RBI single to Hunter Renfroe and a sacrifice fly to Willy Adames. Adames has 2 RBIs in this game. He hit a solo home run last inning. One ball, 2 strike count. Coming. Here's the pitch. It's up high, counts 2-2. Martin Perez, a former Texas Ranger and Minnesota Twin. He didn't struggle too much playing for those teams. He's always been a quality veteran starter. But with the Red Sox, just has not found his groove. Pillar makes the catch. That's out number 1. So with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning, that'll bring up Austin Meadows. Meadows is 1 for 2. He was a part of that rally in the 1st inning that got the Rays 3 runs. He singled and later scored. On the ground right side into the shift, but bobbled by Chavis at second. And Meadows reaches safely, and that will go down as an error. And we'll just look at that again. They decided to go with the backhand. Meadows is a decent runner, but not the fastest person out there. But Chavis decided to go with the backhand to rush the play, and he ended up booting it. And that chases Martin Perez out of this game. Perez pitches 4 1/3 innings. All 4 of the runs he gave up were earned. He's in line for the loss, and Austin Meadows is on base, which, even though it won't count as an earned run, that's still his responsibility. Ryan Weber comes out of the bullpen for the Red Sox. Has pitched 41 innings in 17 appearances and has an ERA of 3.95. And he has the middle of this Rays order to challenge Yandy Diaz, G-Man Choi, and Hunter Renfroe, the next 3 hitters up. Inside ball 1 to Diaz. Diaz, a former utility infielder with the Cleveland Indians. Didn't get much playing time there, but got traded to Tampa Bay a couple off seasons ago. Played third base because Matt Duffy was injured, and now he has a starting spot. Was also one of the heroes of the wild card game. He had a couple home runs. They put the Rays up early in Oakland, and they ended up winning that game and taking the Astros to 5 games in the DS before losing. Now G-Man Choi up. Well struck ball. That's going to fall on one hop the wall. Stays in the park. Meadows will round third. He'll try to score. Pilar gets it in to Chavis. But that's another run scored. An unearned run charged to Martin Perez, but the book on him closed. He gave up 5 runs, 4 of which were earned. And G-Man Choi on second. 2 outs. Here's Hunter Renfroe, another Rays player that's gotten a run batted in this game. Hit an RBI single in the first and hits that one out to right field. Pilar seems to have a play, and he makes it. And the 5th inning is over. The Rays strike again, though, this time off the bat of G-Man Choi. An error and a double give the Rays a run. After 5 full innings, it's the Rays 5 and the Red Sox 0. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. And I'm Nicholas Callis. The top of the order due up for the Red Sox in the 6th inning. Andrew Benintendi, Rafael Devers, and Xander Bogaerts. The Rays scored 3 in the 1st inning, 1 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. Martin Perez pitched 2 scoreless innings, but gave up runs in 3. Although in the 5th inning, the run he gave up was not earned. 1 ball, no strike pitch to the Red Sox left fielder. Out to right field, that's going to be a base hit. Renfroe plays it and gets it into low. The Red Sox have had a few times where they've had a leadoff runner on base, whether it was because of a walk or a hit. But they've still failed to score. Blake Snell, the starter, is still on the mound. The Red Sox have gotten just 2 hits to this point. They've struggled offensively, and Martin Perez struggled on the mound. A big reason they're down. And by a large margin, too. Up the middle, base hit for Rafael Devers. And 2 on now with nobody out. See what this pitch was. And Snell starting to miss over the middle of the plate. Devers could have done more damage with that, but didn't try to elevate too much, just squared it up. Hit a ground ball up the middle that got through. Now here's the 3-hitter, Xander Bogaerts. .325 batting average now with a .932 OPS. Bogaerts started his Major League career in 2013 with the Red Sox. Became their shortstop, their permanent solution for a shortstop. Turned himself into one of the premier players in all of the American League. He was a part of the 2013 World Series champions and won the World Series with the Red Sox in 2018 as well. Swing and a miss, the count's 1-2, all before the age of 30. One ball, 2 strike count. Swing and a miss. And that's out number 1. So Blake Snell, after giving up back-to-back singles, works his 6th strikeout of the game on Xander Bogaerts. Look at that. Just missed it. Just dropped below his reach. And so 1 out. Runners on first and second. Here's J.D. Martinez. Benintendi on second, and Devers on first. Though his defensive skills have dropped in recent years, J.D. Martinez is still one of the most dangerous hitters in baseball. And when you play for an American League team, who needs to field? Because you have the designated hitter. The Red Sox signed him in the 2017-18 offseason. Former Houston Astro, Detroit Tiger, and Arizona Diamondback. No ball, 2 strike pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's 2 outs now in the top of the 6th inning.
The first base.
And Blake Snell has now struck out 7 in this game. So 2 outs, top of the 6th. Here's Mitch Moreland. That's up high, counts 1-0. The Blue Jays game tomorrow will be 4:05 Eastern Time. It'll be the first game that we broadcast on this channel. 1 ball, no strike pitch. That's fouled off, counts 1-1. That's fouled off, the count's 1-2. And speaking of games, we have one more featured game today. It'll be the Dodgers and Reds. That's at 7:10 Eastern. And we have 3 games tomorrow as guaranteed. And we'll go over that when we get to the next half inning. But Mitch Moreland strikes out there. Blake Snell gave up 2 singles, but then struck out the side. He has 8 strikeouts now after 5.5 innings. It's the Rays 5 and the Red Sox 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Jose Martinez, Willie Adames, and Kevin Kiermaier all scheduled to bat as we begin the bottom of the 6th. Check us out on YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you want notifications on when we go live, as well as when we upload videos such as highlights or results and standings update, which help you follow every team in Major League Baseball. You can also follow us on Twitter at VirtualMLB, where you'll get transaction updates, trade updates, injury updates. And we also post videos that we do to YouTube right to Twitter as well. Out to left field, Benintendi running. He's not going to get there. That's going to fall. And a leadoff single for Jose Martinez. But the Dodgers and the Reds are playing tonight at 7:10, and then 3 scheduled games tomorrow. The Mariners and Blue Jays are playing at 4:05. The Rangers and Astros are playing at 6:35. And the Diamondbacks and Rockies are playing at 9:10. All Eastern time. Out to right center field. That's going to fall and one off the wall. They'll hold the runner at third. That's a double for Willie Adames. Jose Martinez now on third base. And both runners in scoring position with nobody out. That'll bring up Kevin Kiermaier. Ryan Weber's the one pitching now for the Red Sox. Martin Perez pitched into the 5th inning. Got an out, but a base runner reached on an error, which caused Ron Renicky to take him out of the game. Ryan Weber came in, gave up that run. But up until this point, he's been pitching scoreless. Oh, that's an odd sentence. He hadn't given up a run to this point, but on that ground out by Kevin Kiermaier, Jose Martinez scores from third. Willie Adames moves from second to third. Still 1 out. Here's Garrett Stubbs. Stubbs 0 for 1. He walked in the 2nd inning. The only time he reached base. In foul territory, Devers can't make the play. That's foul. But Ryan Weber has now given up 1 earned run. That was the first run charged to his scoreline. The run scored in the 5th was unearned, but it was charged to Perez anyway as a run, just not earned. The Rays have 6 runs now, a 1-2 count. Adames on third. Red Sox pitching struggling, as has been characteristic of them all season. Soft fly ball. Jackie Bradley Jr. makes the catch. Adames won't challenge the arm of Bradley Jr. and a well-made decision there. Now with 2 outs, it'll go back to the top of the order. Brandon Lowe coming to the plate for the Rays. Lowe just 1 for 3, but he had a big home run back in the 1st inning that got the Rays starting scoreless. Got their offense going. They scored the first run of the game, and they've been scoring the only runs of the game to this point. The Red Sox without a run yet. One ball, no strike pitch. It's outside, counts 2-0.
2 balls, no strikes.
2 ball, no strike count on the Rays' second baseman, Ryan Weber. Has given up a run in this inning. Looking to work around that runner standing on third base. Grounded right side, that's foul. Count 2-1. Low. Had a powerful swing on that one. But was out in front of that pitch, even though it was inside, and it was a fastball. 2-1 count. Popped up. Out to center field. There's Jackie Bradley Jr. He makes the catch. And the 6th inning is over. The Rays tack on another run thanks to an RBI ground out by Kevin Kiermaier. At the end of 6 full innings, it's the Rays 6 and the Red Sox 0. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Red Sox when we come back. We're back. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up in the Red Sox order to begin this inning. Michael Chavis, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Christian Vasquez. Chavis is 0 for 2. He reached base once in this game, though. Blake Snell still on the mound. Pitched 6 scoreless innings. Now here in the 7th. It's down low, counts 2-0. He's working up to 90 pitches now. And the Rays have a large enough lead to where the bullpen might have a day off, depending on how quickly
3 balls, no
Snell can get out of this inning. 3 ball, no strike pitch coming to Michael Chavis. That's strike 1.
3-1.
All right, we can say that the Cardinals stink and that the Cubs stink, but let's just remember who's actually going to win the World Series this year from the NL Central. It's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Absolutely the Pirates. Don't care that they're in last place right now. They're coming back, and they'll win the NL Central, and they'll probably win the World Series. So, there you go to both of you. Swing and a miss. Blake Snell worked the count back and got the strikeout. His 9th strikeout of the game.
Now batting.
And let's take a look at a montage of some or all of them right now.
Bradley Jr.
You see there are a couple low pitches, low and inside. That pitch was right over the middle of the plate. He struck out the last 4 hitters. That was the montage we're looking at. And with 1 out top of the 7th inning, here's Jackie Bradley Jr. Oh, comedian, right, because well. I mean, I grew up in Pittsburgh, so my heart does lie with the Pirates a bit. And it's a shame that they didn't go farther in 2013, 14, or 15, but yeah, I guess that is a funny joke that the Pirates, they're in last place right now in the NL Central, for those of you that don't know. Yeah, I'll just tell jokes like that. Sure, the Royals will win the World Series, especially with how they're doing. And it's not impossible for them to make a comeback yet, but teams like the Royals, the Pirates,
That's the ball.
there's a few teams that are just down and out of the race right now. Teams that are in need of a rebuild. The East is one of the divisions that actually is competitive. I mean, the Orioles led the division once. They passed the Yankees for a short period of time. Now you have the Blue Jays that are coming up and are within 3 games of the Yankees. The Rays and Red Sox are tied right now, but the Red Sox came out of the basement of the AL East, and the Rays have been toward the middle for most of the season so far. So, I mean, this is a competitive division. The Central, not so competitive. The Twins and White Sox are running away with that. The West, same thing. The Athletics and Astros running away with that division. The Mariners
Ball 4, kick your base.
haven't had too much success in a while. The NL East is competitive as that pitch misses outside, and Kevin Cash not happy.
The batter. The catcher. Christian
Snell not
Vasquez.
quite happy with himself either. Either not happy with himself or the umpire, but nonetheless, here comes Kevin Cash, and Blake Snell will be taken out of the game. But the NL East competitive, the NL Central, the Cardinals are running away with it, and the NL West. The Padres and the Dodgers were close to each other at the top of that division, but the Dodgers have run away with the NL West. The Padres are 9 games back of the Dodgers.
Now pitching for the Rays,
Anthony Banda comes out of the bullpen.
Anthony Banda.
He was a starter in the minor leagues, but he's been in a long relief role since being on the major league roster. And none of the back-end arms needing to work for the Rays in this game. At least not yet, but it's 6-0, top of the 7th. Jackie Bradley Jr. on first. Here's Christian Vasquez, the first one to face Anthony Banda, who's also a left-handed pitcher. But Blake Snell pitched 6 1/3 innings and gave up no earned runs, at least not yet, but Jackie Bradley Jr. is his responsibility on first, so the book on him not quite over yet.
No, that's the ball.
The count's 1-1. Christian Vasquez.
1-1.
He didn't become the regular starting catcher of the Red Sox till around 2014 or 15. But he was their starting catcher when they won the World Series in 2018. And he's been their go-to catching decision ever since the Red Sox parted ways with Jared Saltalamacchia and David Ross. Two-one pitch. Popped up. Right side, G-Man Choi makes the catch. That's out number 2. Okay, I see this prediction. The Dodgers and Twins making it to the World Series.
Now batting,
That's an interesting take.
Kevin Millar.
I've seen several predictions that the Yankees are going to win the World Series, and they're a division leader right now. The Athletics have put together a strong team. But admittedly, the Twins have had things going oddly their way, and they turned things around quickly. They won the division last year, and they have the best record in the American League this year as Pilar sends that into right center. Base hit. Bradley Jr. stops at second as Kiermaier gets that in quickly. A quality throw to third base. So 2 on, 2 out, top of the order coming up for the Red Sox.
The left fielder, Andrew.
But yeah, the Twins went from just being a wild card team to being a division leader to now having the best record in the American League. And I'm still skeptical about the Dodgers making it to the World Series again. Although they're succeeding this year, their window of opportunity in 2017 and 18, I think, is closed. They do still have a strong team, especially for NL West standards, but I don't know if it's a World Series contending team. At least not yet. We're still in June. But that's a bold take for this time in the season, a Dodgers and Twins World Series. The Twins haven't won a World Series since 1991, I believe. That's toward the middle. There's Adames. Plays it. Throws to low at second. Out at second is Pilar, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. So Blake Snell is officially done. He gave up no earned runs. Anthony Banda shut the door on the 7th inning. And after 6.5 innings, it's the Rays 6 and the Red Sox 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up in the Rays order. Austin Meadows, Yandy Diaz, and G-Man Choi. Josh Taylor and Heath Hembree warming up in the Red Sox bullpen now. We already talked about at the beginning of the game that the Red Sox have numbers that put them as having one of the last or one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball. That counts for the starting rotation and the bullpen. But they're without some of their top arms, too. Craig Kimbrell was the former closer of the team, and he didn't sign back with them after 2018. Bogarts makes the play, throws to Moreland, Meadows out, and that's 1 out. They're in the bottom of the 7th.
Third baseman, number 2.
But Matt Barnes never developed as a closer. We have Brandon Workman as the closer now, but he's still nothing compared to names like Craig Kimbrell or Koji Uehara when they had him, or Jonathan Papelbon even. The Red Sox are just heading toward a downturn, just struggling, not as dominant as they once were. Sets up the middle for a base hit. But they had a few good years, or a few great years, you could call them even. They won the NL East from 2016 to 2018, and they finished off that final AL East championship with the World Series in 2018. So one out runner on first. Here's Ji-Man Choi. Yandy Diaz on first base. Ryan Weber still on the mound. Pitched the end of the 5th inning. Pitched the full 6th inning. And now he's here in the 7th. Just one earned run charged to him to this point. Here comes the 1-0. Up high, counts 2-0. Yeah, that might be true, too, looking at the manager statement down there. Yeah, but Alex Cora only started managing in 2018. And he started managing because the Red Sox front office wanted a World Series. But Farrell was the manager of the Red Sox, and they still won the AL East in 2016 and 17. And Ron Renicke's a quality manager as well. He was an interim manager, but he's been named their manager now moving forward, and he had some successful years with the Brewers, so I don't know if management's the issue, just their talent has fallen. He'd be the judge on that pitch. It was close to Ji-Man Choi, but the home plate umpire calls it a ball, which yields the walk. That puts Diaz on second and Choi on first. Still one out, and here's Brian Johnson coming out of the bullpen. So Ryan Weber still responsible for the runners on base. The scorebook not closed on him yet. And you see Johnson making his 21st appearance of the year in 24 innings, has a .450 earned run average. Hunter Renfroe coming to the plate. A player who succeeds more hitting off left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching. And the next 3 hitters for the Rays are right-handed hitters. So an interesting move to bring in the lefty, but that's the decision. Hunter Renfroe 1 for 3 in this game, had an RBI single in the 1st inning. Part of a 3-run first inning for the Rays. Counts 2-0. The Rays scored 3 in the 1st inning, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. Starter Martin Perez of the Red Sox in line for the loss in this one. 2-0 pitch. Out to left field, Benintendi makes the play, that's out number 2. Diaz stays on third, Diaz stays on second. Choi still on first. So just an out with no advancements from any runners, and that'll bring up Jose Martinez. Martinez hit a single and later scored earlier in this one. Facing Brian Johnson for the first time. And facing another lefty. That's inside, counts 1-0. Martinez, a former St. Louis Cardinal, now playing for the Rays, and thriving with being their designated hitter. 1 ball, no strike pitch. On the ground right side, Chavis to Bogarts. Out at second is Choi, and that ends the 7th inning. The Rays get no runs on a couple hits and leave 2 runners on base. After 7 full, it's the Rays 6 and the Red Sox 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Anthony Banda still on the mound for the Rays, and the Red Sox will send up their 2, 3, 4 hitters to the plate. Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts, and J.D. Martinez. Banda came into the 7th inning to replace Blake Snell. Snell didn't give up any runs in his start, and Banda still without a run on his scoreline yet. And one of the best offenses in all of baseball is being held in check in this game. 3-0's the count. The Red Sox have had a few innings where they've gotten runners on base. Some of those leadoff hitters as well. But they failed to score. That's ball 4 on a close pitch. And another leadoff base runner on for the Red Sox.
Now batting.
Kevin Cash was unhappy with a call last inning that Blake Snell had, and Snell ended up walking a batter, which took him out of the game. Now Banda asking some questions. I know sometimes fights and arguments and yelling are glorified, but most of the time there are players who will just ask an umpire, hey, where'd that miss? But that doesn't make headlines, and that's not that interesting when people agree with each other. No, people like arguments and fighting and controversy. No ball, one strike count on Xander Bogaerts. The Bandit just asking where that pitch was. Out toward right field, and G-Man Choi makes the over-the-shoulder catch.
Now batting.
And that's one out now. Still on first is Devers.
Martinez.
And here's the designated hitter of the Red Sox, J.D. Martinez. That's an interesting point. If the DH was in the National League, Jose Martinez probably would have stayed with the Cardinals. But I talked to a sports announcer in Major League Baseball who gave his point, a point of view on the DH rule, as that's into right field. J.D. Martinez on board with a single, and Devers moves from first to third. Oh, no, they can get ejected, and I'll go back to the DH thing in a minute. No, managers can get ejected. Players can get ejected, too. But it just doesn't happen as often as in real baseball. But it also saves time for us, too, because for players to argue or to get in brawls, that takes time. As that's out to center field. Kiermaier makes the catch. Tagging from third is Devers. The throw into the plate. And the tag applied by Stubbs. Out at the plate is Devers. And the top of the 8th inning is over. So a lot happening in that inning and a lot happening in the live chat. We'll go over all of that as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rays lead the Red Sox 6-0. This is Major League Baseball's virtual network. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up in the Rays order to begin this half inning. That's ball one, but Willie Adames, Kevin Kiermaier, and Garrett Stubbs all scheduled to bat. It's good for time's sake, and it's good to keep players in the game that the game itself doesn't promote too many arguments or ejections. Plus, it's not good for the face of baseball. I know fans get interested when there's a lot of yelling and bantering and some brawls going on, but that's not good for the brand of baseball. It's not what they're looking to get attention for. So my opinion is I'm glad the game doesn't simulate that all that often. But if too many batters get hit, the umpire will issue an ejection. I know that's for certain. And I know that there are rare instances where the game will simulate players arguing with an umpire and getting tossed, sometimes managers as well. 2-2 count on Adames. But back to the DH rule. I talked to a professional sports announcer that I was able to get in contact with, and he was just talking about what he thought of the designated hitter rule in Major League Baseball. And his point of view was, if you put the DH in both leagues or you remove the designated hitter from both leagues, you don't really have leagues anymore because it's all one universal rule set. But what differentiates the American League from the National League is the designated hitter rule, and teams and managers have to manage that way. So you manage a different way between using a designated hitter or not using a designated hitter, and it just makes the two, it's what separates the two leagues. And it creates a variant in the game where you have two leagues and two different outcomes can happen just because an extra hitter is inserted into the lineup. But that was just his opinion, and I thought it was an interesting take on it. From not just simply I'm a fan of it or I'm not a fan of it. And that is a good argument, too, that the strategy can get taken out of the game. Like, there are different moves that pitchers can make, such as bunting, true, or, pinch hitting becomes more of a factor when you want to, promote more offense instead of having a pitcher up there who might not be as skilled at hitting. It all makes sense, and they're all both legitimate arguments. But the 8th inning over, the Rays fail to score, and the last chance for the Red Sox coming up, they're down 6.
Your attention, please.
Oliver Drake coming in to pitch for the Rays. This is his 40th appearance, just over an inning on average in each appearance, and his ERA is 4.09. This is not a safe situation.
Leading off for Boston, the second baseman.
But Michael Chavis coming to the plate. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Red Sox. Michael Chavis, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Christian Vasquez. Blake Snell in line for the win and Martin Perez in line for the loss. Again, this is not a safe situation. This is game 1 of a 3-game series. These games will be played consecutively, no off days in between. Counts 1 and 2. And this is also a crucial series, at least at this point in the season, because these teams right now are tied for third in the AL East. And so they will not be tied at the end of this game, regardless of who wins. They're playing for a solid position in third place in the AL East. That's true. I mean, the DH might be, it might come to the National League. And I'm not saying that that's not possible, and I don't have too strong of an opinion about the designated hitter rule, but I've heard some interesting takes from both sides that are for and against it. As Kiermaier makes the catch, that's out number 1, Chavis out, and Jackie Bradley Jr. coming to the plate. I don't have a problem with it one way or the other, and I see both arguments that there is more strategy involved. If you don't have a pitcher that's good at hitting, then you've got to work around that, and you've got to put players in via the pinch hitter, or you have to decide whether a sacrifice bunt might be in order, which does create more strategy than just having a hitter fill a place in a lineup to replace the pitcher. Line drive right center. Kevin Kiermaier will play it on a hop. That's a 1-out single for Jackie Bradley Jr. But on the other side, it is a true statement that you have 2 leagues, and these leagues are differentiated. They are unique because one uses a designated hitter and one doesn't, which also makes the World Series have an extra variant to it. You know, if you don't have the designated hitter, then, you know, for example, in the 2019 World Series, A.J. Hinch made the decision to play Yordan Alvarez in left, although he's a defensive liability. But he wanted to keep his bat in the lineup. But you get to have him in the lineup and a solid defensive outfield when you play at home, when you play American League rules. So I think that variation is the argument when it comes to keeping the DH in. That variation that one league should have one set of rules and another league should have another set. It keeps things interesting, and it makes them have unique characteristics. In the air out to center field. Kevin Kiermaier under it. Catch made, 2 outs. And Bradley Jr. goes back to first base.
Now batting, right fielder.
Kevin Pillar stepping to the plate. The Red Sox have 1 out to work with. They're down 6. They have yet to score. And there's the likelihood now that they could get shut out. Oliver Drake pitching in his first inning out of the bullpen. Responsible for shutting the door on this one and winning the first game of the series, or helping the Rays win the first game of the series. Counts 1-1. Kevin Pillar, former Toronto Blue Jay and San Francisco Giant, in his first year with the Red Sox. Swings and misses, counts 1-2, and now the Red Sox with 1 strike to work with. One, 2. Down low, counts even 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Jackie Bradley Jr. on first. 6-0 Rays lead. Chopped in front of the plate. Stubbs plays it. Throws to Choi. Out at first is Pillar, and this ball game has come to an end. That'll do it here from Tropicana Field. The Rays scored early as the first inning. They scattered some runs throughout this game, and they come away with the win. And they're now in third place in the AL East. The Red Sox have been moved back to fourth. And that's pending how the Orioles do today and in the next couple of days. There's Oliver Drake. He shut this game down, though it wasn't a safe situation. And you see the final score line in the Red Sox shutout. They ended up getting 17 hits, but failed to score at all. The Rays got 6 runs on 8 hits, and very simply, Blake Snell earned the win. Went 6 1/3 innings, didn't give up any runs. Martin Perez pitched 4 1/3 innings. It says he gave up 5 earned runs, but I think he gave up just 4 earned runs. The one run he gave up was on an error. The run that ended up scoring was on an error, so I wouldn't count that as an earned run, but oh well, the game did. But this one, open and shut. The Rays improved to 32 and 36. Again, they're now third in the AL East. The Red Sox are now 31 and 37. And they're in jeopardy of falling back to last place. That's depending on how the Orioles do today. But the Red Sox continuing to fall down in the AL East after having a bit of a hot stretch toward the end of May and coming into June. But that'll do it here for me, Nicholas Callis, and all of us at Major League Baseball's Virtual Network. Don't forget, coming up at 7:10, the Dodgers and the Reds will be playing each other. And we'll look forward to seeing you. Well, we're not going to see you, but you're going to be watching the game, and we'll be here to give it to you. All right, enough from me. My name is Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. And once again, the final score, the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Boston Red Sox 6-0.